Welcome to Cultura Latina. Today we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Latin America's most beloved comic icon. And also we'll visit an impressive contemporary art collection in Buenos Aires that blends art with politics. Created in the 1960s by cartoonist Kino, Mafalda is now celebrating 50 years of life through the exhibition The World According to Mafalda. The exhibit is reuniting generations of fans with a colorful collection of questions, ideas, and thoughts. Come see. In 1964, the brilliant vignettist Kino created Mafalda, the most popular Argentinian comic, a little girl so simple as deep. Now, 50 years later, a very special exhibition is mounted in Buenos Aires, The World According to Mafalda.
Celebrating 50 years of this beloved character. So from then on, a script was built in order so children and adults could interact and have fun at the same time, thinking about Mafalda's life through the introduction of all the characters of the comic, her family, her friends, and something very funny, thinking about Mafalda's life through what she liked and what she didn't. So, you can hear in different areas of the exposition, in one of the baths, for example, the Beatles music. Mafalda was a fan of the Beatles, and you can also see the issues she had with soup. She hated soup, so you can go into her moments, which, through the comics, we built and knew.
Children and adults do really enjoy the exhibition reading the most famous Mafalda's comics, playing games and participating in funny workshops. The magic scenography fulfills the expectations of the visitors.
We rebuilt Mafalda's neighbors' flat. You can go into the living room and see their furniture, the TV from the 60s, the telephone, the table, the chairs, kitchen utensils, the everyday stuff. Most of kids don't know what a rotary telephone is, so that is one of the points loved by the adults, and they can have fun as a family.
I think it's a wonderful experience both for kids and grown-ups. I have fallen in love with the results of the exhibition and what we've learned from it. I believe it has happened to all of us. These things are timeless and never run out of fashion. We could have read it 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and yet we read it today and it's still current. Some sort of prediction in Kino's text, and we see it today and what happens today at schools, at home, in the world. I think it's fantastic. Clear-headed, emphatic, and daring, little Mafalda marked generations with her thought and wisecracks.
Bueno, yo me crié leyendo Mafalda desde chiquita.
I grew up reading Mafalda. My hair was all puffed up like hers, and I was pretty obnoxious. I was always asking difficult questions, so reading her comics was an important part of my childhood.
Mafalda was translated into 26 languages, and people from different countries could be part of her world. I have been reading Mafalda since I was 3. My sisters were total fans of her in Mexico, and so, being here on holidays, it was impossible not to come to her 50 years exhibition. I wanted to be here, it's wonderful. Mafalda was a part of my education and everything really since I was a child. She's irreverent, funny, reflective, etc. I think she's wonderful. Kino with all his creation and Mafalda in particular, just spectacular. Mafalda's universe goes on interpolating children and grown-ups from everywhere with a speech full of sagacity and fun. After 50 years, she still makes us think and laugh. Still in Argentina, the Museo de Arte Latinoamericano de Buenos Aires, or MALBA, holds a permanent exhibition of Latin contemporary art. Here's a taste on how art can be intimately tied to politics. A visit to the 20th century Latin American art collection in the Malva Museum allows visitors from all across the world to have a taste of the most emblematic pieces. From paintings, drawings, sculptures, objects, and installations, you get to experience the work and meaning of artists such as Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera, and the Argentinian Antonio Berni, among others.
On the one hand, we have the proposition of art and politics, where we have very important works such as Manifestación, for example, by Antonio Berni. the Diversity and Realism 2, which belongs more to the 40s, and a section devoted to modern photography, which is from about the mid-30s to the 40s. Connections and differences can be made. Connections in the sense of those contacts with the movements and trends, the searches, which were carried out in Europe in each of the decades and in the United States, and which were the local re-elaborations, appropriations, and the lines, shall we say, of action developed in each of the contexts of the countries in the region. Different readings can be found and also similarities, because obviously everything is interrelated in terms of movements and trends, but they also have local characteristics that in many cases, for example in the 60s and 70s, are also closely linked to the social political situations and many of the countries that have been under military dictatorships. Then all these are local differences and specificities of each of these countries that a person that comes from Europe or the United States will be able to appreciate.
The four cores of the exhibition are a cultural roundup of the different modern and avant-garde movements in Latin America, opening the debate between arts and politics and how this struggle had an impact in the artistic work reunited here. The Malva Museum works as an instrument for art studies by its diversity of pieces, materials, and artistic perspectives. Thanks for watching. Next week we'll be in Colombia where an inspiring exhibition is taking place. And also, we'll visit an ethnographic museum we're sure you'll enjoy. See you then.